Researchers have found that humans may have first arrived in America 10,000 years earlier than was originally thought. The researchers, based at Université at Montreal's Department of Anthropology, analyzed animal bones which have marks on them from stone tools used by humans. The new research suggests that humans first entered North America 24,000 years ago through the Bering Strait from Russia to Alaska. Until now, it was estimated that humans first settled in North America 14,000 years ago. But the research, published in the open access journal PLOS I and co-authored by Dr. Thomas Hyam of Oxford University's Radiocarbon Accelerator Unit, revealed that humans first settled in North America during the last ice age, called the Pleistocene. The researchers arrived at their findings using animal bones that were found in the Bluefish Caves on the banks of the Bluefish River in northern Yukon in Canada and near the Alaska border. This site was originally excavated by archaeologist Jacques Cinq-Mars between 1977 and 1987. At the time, Mr. Cinq-Mars used a method called radiocarbon dating to date the animal bones. Based on the results, he hypothesized that humans first settled in North America as far back as 30,000 years ago. Because there were no other archaeological sites of similar age, Mr. Cinq-Mars' estimate was controversial, and there was also no evidence that the animal bones that were found were due to humans having hunted them. To confirm or refute the hypothesis once and for all, Professor Ariane Burke from the Université at Montreal's Department of Anthropology examined the 36,000 bones that were found on the site, which included horse, mammoth, bison and caribou bones. The bones, which were preserved at the Canadian Museum of History in Gastineau, took 2 years to examine fully. Analysis of the bones at UDM's Ecomorphology and Paleoanthropology Laboratory revealed undeniable traces of human activity in 15 bones. Around 20 other bone fragments also showed probable traces of the same type of activity. Professor Burke said a series of straight V-shaped lines on the surface of the bones were made by stone tools used to skin animals. These are indisputable cut marks created by humans, she said. Professor Burke submitted the bones to be radiocarbon dated again, revealing that the oldest bone found, a horse mandible with stone marks from a tool used to remove its tongue, was dated back to between 23,000 and 24,000 years ago. Our discovery confirms previous analyses and demonstrates that this is the earliest known site of human settlement in Canada, said Professor Burke. It shows that eastern Burundi was inhabited during the last ice age. According to Professor Burke, studies have shown that a group of a few thousand people lived in isolation from the rest of the world in Burundi, a region in between the Lena River in Russia and the Mackenzie River in Canada, 15,000 to 24,000 years ago. Our discovery confirms the Burundian standstill or genetic isolation hypothesis, she said. Genetic isolation would have corresponded to geographical isolation during the last glacial maximum. Burundi was isolated from the rest of North America by glaciers and steppes too inhospitable for human occupation to the west. It was potentially a place of refuge, said Professor Burke. The Burundians of the Bluefish Caves were therefore among the ancestors of people who colonized the entire continent along the coast to South America at the end of the last ice age. But how did humans cross over from Russia to North America in the first place? Some researchers think that ancient humans from Siberia trekked over an icy landmass known as the Bering Land Bridge and crossed over a corridor into the Americas. But others think that this wasn't possible because the passage lacked crucial resources needed for survival, and that the first Americans must have made the journey south by another route along the Pacific coast.